that are there watching the fight. And I felt that if we put the belt on him in the middle of the octagon, it was going to rain. And I thought that people would throw whatever they had into the octagon, and I thought it would be a dangerous situation, so I didn't do it. I said, we're going to be lucky just getting him out of here without him getting pelted. So that's what we try to do.
You mentioned the athletic commission, but we saw Las Vegas Metro involved as well. I'm sure it's still kind of unfolding right now, but are you aware of any legal implications, any charges that are being filed against Khabib,
So
his teammates?
the way that that works is Connor was one of the guys who was attacked and things like that. Connor refused to press charges. So the guys that they did have, they've released. There were three guys from Khabib's team arrested. I think they were from Khabib's team. I don't know. That were arrested and they were released because Connor didn't want to press charges.
How about for you internally? I mean, it looked like two of the guys that got in there, we believe were on the roster. I mean, as Makachev and Zverev Tukigov, would you take sanctions against him or Khabib?
Of course. The guys who jumped in will never fight here. They'll never fight here. And listen, I've been working hard for 18 years to build this sport, and many of you there, I know there's a lot of media here tonight. And some of you, this is your first event. I can promise you, this is not what a mixed martial arts event is normally like. And you know, when you have such an amazing event that we've worked hard to build over the last several months, and it goes perfect. I mean, literally, it was too eerie. I kept saying, this is too crazy, man. Everybody made weight. Everything's so smooth. Everything's this and that. Took all the right precautions. You know, those of you that have been to many events too, you've never seen this many Metro police officers in the building, and you know, security was unbelievable. We had meetings. I think the last meeting we had with both teams was during the OSP Reyes fight. We did another meeting with them on what's going to happen in this way. I was going into the octagon, and nobody else until, you know, I felt like we had control, and I would determine who could come in and who couldn't. And everybody signed up, and everybody was cool, you know, but I don't know. Nobody saw Khabib diving over you know, he scaled that thing like he was a parkour guy. It happened so fast, you know. The police did what they could do, and the security. But they did a great job of containing it. Because I was at the Tyson Holyfield fight when that thing was crazy. It just spilled out into the crowd, then it spilled out into the casino, and it just seemed like it wouldn't stop. And when it started, I had visions of that, because I was there. It was fucking scary. And they did a great job of containing it, because usually that stuff spreads like a wildfire. So props to them and thanks to them.
Danny, I know you always tell us that you never tell guys what to say or what not to say or how to hype a fight or whatever, but this thing was so emotionally, politically, charged in the build-up to it. After this happened, is there any regret that maybe you allowed it to go on or didn't step in?
This isn't the last time. This isn't the last time guys are going to say mean things to each other. It's the fight business, you know? It's the fight game. It's how it works. So, listen, people have been saying mean things to each other for 18 years here at the UFC. Nothing like this has ever happened.
And last thing for me, Dan, I appreciate you talking about this. A rematch between those two seems both incredibly lucrative and also incredibly scary, with what would happen. So give us an idea kind of where you stand. I mean, should these guys run it back, or is that an awful idea for the UFC?
We have to see what happens with the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I mean, not just the commission. I mean, there's going to be fines. There's going to be God knows what, Can these guys get visas and get back in the country? You know what I mean? And I mean Khabib. We'll see how this thing plays out. And, like I was saying, been doing this for 18 years, and the biggest night ever, and I couldn't be more disappointed. You know me, I'm usually mad at everything, but I'm not even mad. I'm just really disappointed.
Dana, you said that the bus incident was disgusting. The press conference was the darkest press conference ever. Today you're disappointed. Do you regret using the bus footage, which kind of incensed Conor. I mean, but I mean, looking back to kind of how it ended up right now,
No,
would you do the same again?
I would.
Okay.
It's part of the story.
Yeah. Where's Khabib? Where's Khabib right now?
He's here.
Is Khabib? Are we gonna be able to talk to him, or do you know?
I think so. Yeah, he'll be here.
Okay. Did you get a chance to talk to Conor after the whole incident and kind of what's
I
in the
did.
mind frame after the fight, and also?
He didn't care. He didn't care about the fight. Meaning the fight after. He was more concerned about the fight. The fight.
What did he say? What did he say?
He
about
said,
the
"Listen,
fight?
man, I'm upset. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. You know, we don't like each other. Whatever." He didn't even press charges. You know, he doesn't like Khabib and the whole deal, but he didn't even press charges against him and his team. He doesn't care about that. He cares that he lost the fight.
Have you talked to Khabib? Right?
I have not.
What did he say to you in the octagon?
Who?
Khabib, I saw you talking to him in the octagon.
Yeah. So Khabib, I said, he said, put my belt on me, and I said, no, we're not going to put the belt on you because I think that the fans are going to go crazy and they're going to throw stuff in here. He says, I don't care. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for this. I said, yeah, well, the other 20,000 people that are sitting here and paid for tickets aren't ready for this. You know what I mean? And he said, if I have to be arrested, then I have to be arrested, but I want my belt put on me. And then finally, Cormier and Rockhold did a great job of helping contain, the situation and get him out of there.
Was it a bad thing from the standpoint, everybody's talking, nobody was mad, there wasn't any fans who were saying, I'll never watch UFC again, they're talking, when are these guys gonna fight again? So is it a bad thing or is it a good thing?
No, it's definitely not a good thing. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm taking it harder than most people would because it's I don't know. It's just not who we are. It's not what we do. You guys know. You've been to a million events, man. A million events. This ain't like a Red Sox Yankees game. It's not like Well, I've been to some Red Sox Yankees game that will scare the shit out of anybody. This is not what we're about. This isn't what we do. This isn't how we act. And it's unfortunate that the night that the most people are watching, this shit show goes on that happened.
Do you feel, Dana, if you had taken action after the bus incident, like, the legal process took place, but you were adamant you weren't gonna do anything, had you suspended Conor for, X period of time, that you don't think that would have had any deterrent?
Had nothing to do with that. He wasn't coming back and saying he wants to jump over the fence because we didn't suspend Conor. Jumped over the fence because Conor's guy was talking shit to him.
No, understood, but don't you think that just the fact that it set the tone, like allow that to happen, if there had been some?
Do you have any idea how much money it cost Conor?
I don't.
The whole thing, that's fucking millions of dollars.
But the like Khabib doesn't know that, or Khabib's team doesn't know that. And so
They know that.
The argument, the point I'm making, not an argument, I'm asking you a question, would be, it's a deterrent effect. If you say, you look at the NFL or wherever, they suspend the guys for a period of time, it serves as a deterrent to not, other people to not do that same thing. And I guess that's what I'm saying. Had you taken some action on the UFC part, you violated the code of conduct or whatever you want to say you did, would that not have maybe prevented some of the heated stuff that happened in this promotion?
I would, listen, we didn't, so I don't know, but I would say no. If we suspended Conor, I don't think that was gonna stop or slow down or hinder the hatred between these two camps. And I'm sure these guys don't give a shit about suspensions and stuff like this. It's so much bigger than that to these guys. This is some street shit that's going on here. This isn't sport. It's completely different. The suspensions and whatever, none of that stuff matters.
Can I ask you
And a suspension might have pissed him off even more because Khabib wanted to fight him. Habib wanted to fight him as soon as it was possible. So me going out and suspending Conor definitely doesn't do that for him.
Can you take a question about the actual fight?
Yeah.
Your impressions of Habib's performance tonight and does a fight with Tony Ferguson make sense given that might have been one of the greatest fights in UFC history?
Sure. The fight was incredible. The Pettis fight of the night, Pettis fight was awesome. They both look great. And then I thought the main event was awesome too, right up until the end. I thought the first round Conor actually did a good job of, normally when Khabib gets you down there, he smashes you in that position. Conor did a good job defending that first round, but then Khabib does what he does and he starts to wear you out, and that's exactly what he did to Conor.
Any update on how the pay-per-view did?
I haven't even looked at. That's what I should be in here bragging about right now is the pay-per-views. But no, I haven't even looked at that. I haven't even talked about it with anybody or.
When will you know?
Probably after this, I'll grab somebody and figure out what's.
Anybody has been interested, would you text them and let them know?
Initially, what
Anybody who's interested, would you text them and let them know?
I might.
Question over here, Dana. Obvious, just over here. So is it 100% certain that Khabib will not be stripped of the title after what happened tonight?
No, it's not 100%. Khabib is, the thing is, we're regulated by the Nevada State Athletic Commission or whatever state we're in, right? The Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to go after him, I'm sure, pretty hard. You know, he doesn't have to worry about me right now. He has to worry about Nevada. The governor was here tonight. The governor went running out of the building. That's not good. Governor running out of the building isn't good. He's in trouble.
What do you make of Tony Ferguson? Because obviously he was the interim champion before. Is there a chance that he could become interim champion again while this whole thing's being figured out?
I am completely not thinking about any of that shit. I'm not even thinking about pay-per-views. That's how messed up I am right now. So, yeah, I'm not even thinking about that stuff. Obviously, he put on an incredible performance. He got hurt. He came back, won the fight, and yeah, Ferguson. So happy that he actually stepped up and fought on this card too. You know, that's how you stay active. You stay in front of the fans, especially as many people as that were watching tonight, and everybody loved that fight. It was a really good night for Tony.
And just finally, obviously a big fight looking like it's going to happen between Dustin and Nate. Is there a chance that McGregor may face Nate now to sort of take a break from this whole Khabib thing?
Might face who?
Nate.
Nate. Yeah, I don't. Nate's fighting in New York, so.
If he does win that fight, do you think that's a fight?
I don't know. Again, things I'm not thinking about. We good? I talked to Bennett? Yeah. Yeah, no, I talked to Bennett about, he said he was withholding both purses, you know, not give these guys their money. Then they went in, they pulled a bunch of footage from us, they did some, and they called me back and said, we gave McGregor, they did an interview with McGregor, and then they gave him his purse, and they're withholding Khabib's. That's it, that's all we talked about. Go ahead, buddy. I almost said, go ahead, Stipe. Give Stipe Miocic a mic here.
Thank you.
What's up, buddy?
Reporter from the station, Igor Lazorin. Ask again, we heard that 3 guys from Khabib team arrested. They're free now, and I heard that Zubair Tukhugov was in arrest, and will he fight against Lobov?
So what I heard is that 3 of his guys were arrested. I don't know who they were, but then they went to Conor McGregor to press charges, and McGregor said he would not press charges, so they were released. And yes, if they are guys who are under contract with the UFC, they will not fight.
Hey Dana, on Thursday I asked, this is Dallas Hall from MMA Fight Radio. On Thursday I asked you if this was one of the biggest moments of your professional career.
Yep, I remember.
After what happened afterwards, does that change your opinion on whether or not this was the big one of your biggest moments?
It's still one of the biggest moments of my career. It's just, I should feel a lot better right now than I do. You know what I mean? I should be celebrating. We should all be celebrating. We should all be having fun and, you know, celebrating how when you put on the right event with the right guys at the right time, how it all comes together and it works for everybody. This is very successful, I'm sure, for all of you, because I don't care what you put up this week, the thing was cranking on views, no matter what you put up. It was a very good week for everybody. It just, it really sucks to end it like this. Instead of celebrating, we're all sitting around saying, wow, that was pretty shitty.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just over there, I mean, you said the commission is withholding Khabib's money. What about the money he would make from you guys through the pay-per-view or anything like that? Will there be any impact to him on that front?
What do you mean? Like withhold our money?
Yeah, or can you?
How would they withhold our money?
No, I mean like the money you would pay to Khabib for his
Well-
pay-per-view cut.
Khabib? Yeah.
Or like a fine. or
Well,
something.
Khabib won't get it. First of all, it takes so long for the pay-per-view numbers to come in. He won't get a check for a while. Listen, the Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to take the lead on this thing. They're the regulators. They're the ones that oversee us. We'll see what happens. Obviously, if they give them a really light punishment, which I highly doubt is going to happen, then we'll go from there.
Hey, Dana?
Yeah.
How much is the purse that was withheld? And number two, I know you mentioned that these fighters are just going to talk leading up, but are you gonna, will you reevaluate the way some of the ethnic and religious comments that kind of filtered through at these events that could possibly have fueled the brawl? I mean, are you going to reevaluate the way these pre-fight discussions just unfold?
Will I reevaluate what? It sounds like an airplane hangar in here, Matt. Will I reevaluate what?
Are you going to reevaluate the discussions between the fighters, because some of these guys can handle it? I mean, Connor's a showman. He's doing his thing. Habib doesn't seem as though he was experienced, and he kind of took the ethnic, religious, offensive comments to heart that could have fueled the brawl today. I'm just wondering, are you going to take another look at just how these quote unquote mean words affect the fighters as they lead up to the events?
First of all, it had nothing to do with Connor. You didn't see him run and try to attack Connor after the fight. It was a cornerman, a guy who had nothing to do with the fight. He wasn't involved in the fight. He's a cornerman. He was the guy that Khabib went after. He was yelling stuff through the cage at Khabib, you know? But that's the fight business. That's sports. There's trash talking in every sport, you know? They do it in the NBA, they do it in the NFL, they do it in baseball. It's part of the game. It's just, you know, that's never going to change here. You're never going to tell somebody what they can or can't say. That's never going to change.
Dana, right here.
We've had situations, just to answer your question a little bit more, we've had situations where we've had fighters say stuff to the fans. That's a whole nother ballgame. You know what I mean? When you start doing that stuff with the fans. But fighters, it's competition. It's always going to happen. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm right here.
Hey.
So I'm just basically trying to wrap this whole thing up. Is there anything the UFC can do to ensure that situations like this in the future don't happen?
Yeah, we did tonight. How'd that work out?
So there's basically nothing more.
Did you see how many police were here? I don't even know if the city was safe tonight. There were so many police here tonight. I think every cop in town was here. We had an unbelievable amount of security here. You know, and we had, I told you guys, we had meetings all week, and we had 2 meetings tonight. The second meeting was during the Reyes OSP fight, telling these guys what's going to happen and how this is going to play out. We believe me, we went above and beyond anything we've ever done in the history of the company tonight to make sure that this didn't happen. And it happened. What are you going to do when a guy flies like a monkey over the friggin' cage? And, you know, you can prepare, you can have all these people, you can do all this stuff. What are you going to do? They did a great job of containing that and stopping it. Like I said earlier, I've been in those before with the Tyson Holyfield fight, man. Once it starts, it's very, very hard to stop. And it usually spills out into the crowd. And actually, even the fans on the way out, they were actually better than I thought they were going to be to Khabib, because they didn't get him until he went through the tunnel. You're easy pickings in the tunnel, man. But people could have been firing stuff the entire time. And I don't think that happened. I didn't see it unless you guys did. They just got him when he was going in the tunnel. So the team that we assembled tonight did a fantastic job of stopping this thing and containing it and keeping it from getting worse.
Just one more from me. Just one more from me. I think the question that everybody's talking about right now, or a lot of fans are talking about right now, is that is there any chance that the UFC will strip Khabib of his title?
pretty sure I answered these questions already. All of the questions you just asked me, I've answered. You know, we'll see. The Nevada State Athletic Commission is going to hand down some type of, you know, fine, suspension, or whatever's going to happen. That's up to them. We'll see. And then, I don't know. Listen, if he gets suspended, depends on how long his suspension is, and yeah, he's probably going to get stripped if it's a long suspension.
Dana, the three biggest topics on Twitter, I believe, right now are UFC 229, Khabib, and McGregor. Over 1 million people tweeting Khabib right now. It's a sour incident for MMA. I think we'll admit that. But is the fact that so many people are engaged and so many people are talking about the UFC, is there a way to take that and make that engagement a positive?
Like I said earlier, I think that obviously people from the outside looking in can look at it. It's just, this is super personal to me. You know, this is I've worked so hard for so long, and we're at this point where we're on ESPN. It's come January 1st. This massive event. People don't look at the sport the way they do. The type of people that turned out tonight, and tonight's you know, this is one of those spillover events where soccer moms are buying the pay-per-view and watching it at big parties and stuff. And this is how the night ends. It's just really disgusting and disappointing for me. Are we gonna fold up everything, the tents, and, you know, go away? No, I mean, we're gonna keep putting on fights, and yeah, it's just a bad night for me, man. And I'm sure for many of the people in this room who've covered the sport for a long time. We know this isn't who we are, and you know, no matter how many mean things are said to people, they fight and we move on. And I don't know, tonight's just not a great night for me. I'm not in a great mood. Like I said, I should be in here telling you guys how many I don't give a shit how many pay-per-view buys we did. I could care less right now. Doesn't even, I literally, it's all I've been talking about and thinking about all week. And right now, I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, on my daughter's life, don't give a shit. I don't care.
Dana, here in front of you to your
Yeah.
right. Can you talk a little bit about the lost opportunity that Khabib had tonight? If he had a career-defining victory against the biggest name in the sport.
You're absolutely right, sir. Great question, and I agree with you. So what Khabib should have done was pick Conor up, you know, pull him up from the ground, hug him, and say, you know, good fight, whatever. Get his belt, whatever. Even if you're the biggest Conor fan ever, you at least have to respect it. You know what I mean? And I think that what Khabib did to himself tonight is he was set up. All the mean things that were said about him, all the stuff that happened he won the fight. And he looked great doing it. He had the opportunity to walk out of that place, you know, a champion, and look like a stud. Instead of flying over the cage and starting this whole thing that he did. Should have been a very different night for him too. I agree with you.
What was going through your mind when you saw him go flying into the cage?
I was like, no way. This is not happening, man. This is not happening. But then once we got in there, and it's like this gentleman I just talked about, that's the way the show should have ended, this way. And for the show to end the way that it did, like me and this gentleman over here just talked about, you know, how bad does it hurt us? What does it do? I don't know if it hurts us at all. You know, some people love that shit. But for me, it's just a bad night.
The Nevada Commission and Bob Bennett are notoriously strict for these kind of things. I mean, Chavez Jr. was suspended 9 months a few years ago for smoking marijuana. It's not legal in Nevada. Would you be surprised if he's suspended for any less than a year?
So when the governor's in the room and he has to go running out of this place because he's, you know, wondering what's gonna happen to him. It's not good. The governor oversees the athletic commission, and I'm sure this is gonna be ugly.
You know, I know it's still fresh, but where would you say this ranks in terms of crazy moments in your career?
Number 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Go ahead. I'll try to hear you, but there you go.
Is it possible that you will make a rematch because because that will be really funny. I think.
You say, am I going to make the rematch? Yeah, we've got to see what happens here with the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and we'll figure that out. We'll see what happens. I'm not even thinking about that kind of stuff right now. Go ahead, man. Pass it down to your, yeah, right.
So say that Khabib's visa is in jeopardy, yet the Nevada State Athletic Commission doesn't suspend him for that long of a time. Are you willing to work with him and just keep his fights overseas to defend the title?
No. What are you saying? If the Nevada State Athletic Commission does something to him, I just take him overseas and do it?
No, not if Nevada is okay with him fighting, but he has trouble. His visa is in jeopardy.
Getting the guy. I don't know.
Okay. And also to end on a better note, what was said to Derek Lewis about taking the shorts off in the cage?
He took his shorts off?
Oh, you didn't see
I didn't even notice that. What was he wearing under his shorts?
Some regular black underwear.
He was in his underwear?
He said his balls were hot.
Yeah. I wish that was the craziest thing that happened tonight. That's what I wish. Yeah. He's interesting, isn't he? That guy's interesting. Huh. I didn't even know that. We good? Oh, go ahead, buddy.
Tough night for you, Dana. Well done for keeping a lid on it yourself. Earlier in the week, I asked Khabib if it was more than just a fight, this contest with Conor. Is there any? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you will go away from this and think, you know, I'm going to go and perhaps be an arbiter and get the two camps together and just calm this down afterwards, in case there are further repercussions?
Yeah, the last thing I'm going to do is put these two camps together again. I'm trying to keep these guys as far away from each other as possible. This is just, this is so much deeper than that. Like I said earlier, these are groups of people that do not like each other, and I don't think that's going to change. I don't think these guys are going to end up, you know, hugging it out and becoming friends. So, no.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. So when things come together on big fights like this, I know how hard all you guys work on this too. I appreciate it. Thanks for everything this week, you guys, and be safe going home. Have a good night.
Well, while we're waiting, I'm gonna plug this phone up so it doesn't go dead. Just bear with me.
congratulations on your victory tonight, but as I'm sure you're aware, the story is really about what happened after the fight, unfortunately. Can you tell us in your words, what caused you to jump over the cage and to go after Connor's team?
What's up, guys? How are you? First of all, I want to say sorry to Athletic Commission, Nevada, sorry to Vegas. I know this is not my best side. You know, this is not my best side. You know, I'm a human being, and like, I don't understand how people can talk about I jump on the cage. You know, what about he talk about my religion? He talk about my country. He talk about my father. He come to Brooklyn and he broke bus. He almost killed a couple of people. What about this? What about this shit? Why people talk about I jump over the cage? Why people still talk about this? Like, I don't understand. I am respect. My father teach me, hey, you have to be always respectful. My old team, where I'm training in California 7 years, everybody know who I am. All my friends, like everybody who know me, they know who I am, you know? And I told you guys, these guys, not only him, his whole team and him, they tap machines. You know, I told you guys, when you put him the wrong way, you're gonna tap. You know, what happened today? Like, they call him two-time world champion, like 2 weight classes, but today he tapped. And that's why, alhamdulillah, belt is here, undisputed, undefeated UFC lightweight champion. And you know, and I wanna say something like, you know, like people little bit, it's not people, I think it's media. Media a little bit changed MMA. This is respect sport, you know. This is not trash talking sport. This is respect sport. Like I told you before, guys, I want to change this game. I don't want people talk shit about like opponents, talk shit about his father, like religion. You cannot talk about religion. You cannot talk about nation. You know, guys, you cannot talk about this stuff. And you know, this is for me is very important. And thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you for waiting for me here. I know my father gonna smash when I go home because I know he's gonna smash. And Nevada, sorry. Vegas, sorry. And Alhamdulillah, undisputed, undefeated UFC lightweight champion. Thank you so much. And I'm very proud about, like, all media talk about, he take picture with Putin, something like this. He just called me and he said he was very proud of me. I win. And he said congratulations. And you know, I told you guys, everything I'm gonna change 6th October, and I do this. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much.
Khabib, can you talk about the fight before the brawl?
Well, that's it.
The long view of history is a series of short stories, pieces of a puzzle that, assembled, help us understand it all. How the greats rose, where they came from, and how they endured. What they fought for, what they did to survive, why they believed when no one else did, and how they forged a lasting legacy. If you thought you knew UFC history, this is the whole story in 25 parts. UFC 25 Years in Short.